If you are not doing what you want to be doing or you're passionate about,
the money's not going to fix it.
Money's not going to fix it.
Yeah. G'day guys, welcome back to another episode of Level Up. We are back in the shed and I'm trying to get pumped up today. I've been doing a bit of studying. I feel like I'm back at school doing my passive house course, so that'll be in another whole other episode. But got a special guest for you today. He's a bloke that I've known probably getting close to a couple of years now. But come to me, or we got introduced or we met for something that you really wouldn't expect. And I'm glad I've met this bloke because he's a champion. He's working his ass off. He's got an incredible business. He started his life at retail, jumped in the deep end, and after 27 years, took the leap to go on a completely different route. So I'd like to give a big warm welcome to Mitch from GIFTu. How are you, mate?
Good, Duayne. Mate, thank you so much.
You might be thinking, why you got Mitch on? He's not a builder, he's not a tradie. What's going on here? But every single project we do, we give a handover gift. And in 12 or 13 odd years of doing it, we've never had a gift like the one that you placed in front of me.
Well, awesome. And I actually remember your reaction, or at least I was told quite... you were a bit taken back, and I was
a bit set up. Well, no, like you'd spoken about brother-in-law. You knew we were builders, and you made it special.
No, I didn't. I'll tell you what I did.
You put our name on it.
I'll tell you what I did. Well, okay, so here's the magic, and this is the cool thing. So what you don't know is that prior to that meeting, I spent a good amount of time on your website.
Yeah.
And I needed to understand what your dialogue was like. What was the narrative? What was the messaging that you were... Because your website is a portal into someone learning about your business that you don't know.
Yeah.
So I'm looking at that going, okay, well, he likes teal, I think was the colour, right? Or at least that's,
you
close
matched
enough.
all their branding, yeah.
Yeah, the colour, the branding, the wording. So I set out to create what I thought your client should receive.
Yeah. And you nailed it.
Well...
You nailed it enough that I rang you the very next day and organised a catch-up, and here we are now.
Yeah. And look, I'm not going to lie to you, I was really taken back by the response that I got, and it was honest.
Yeah. It was like the box was fantastic. Open it up, the smell of the timber, the other gifts you had in there.
Yeah.
I think the one you gave us had a really special knife with it to use on the board.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
And the fact that someone had gone to so much effort to do that just blew me away. And we ordered a heap straight away for our jobs, and I think I called you the next day and asked you if you wanted a business partner.
Yeah. Well, look, genuinely 2 years ago, I was working in the backyard on a trestle table with some hand tools, power tools, but, hand stuff. And, now we've got a commercial workshop and we're sending boards all over the world.
Yeah. Oh, mate, it's unbelievable. Like, and I think your story, even though, like I said, you're not a builder, you're not a tradie, it's going to resonate with a lot of people because for me, it's all about passion. Yeah. And, running your own race, being passionate about what you do, doing things differently to the other person and setting yourself apart. And it's shown with how successful you've been in a matter of 2 years.
Everything that we do in any industry is people-based. 80% of what we do is people. We can fly a monkey to the moon, but managing people is the toughest thing you will ever do.
Yeah, setting expectations, executing expectations,
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And being regimented, and that discipline starts with yourself. If you're not self-disciplined, you'll never, ever expect anyone around you to be disciplined.
Yeah.
For you, whether it be a business owner, whether you're a tradesman, or whether you're somebody aspiring to be that, I'm absolutely dogmatic when it comes to follow-up and excruciating. I know for myself, I'm self-aware enough to know I'm a pain in the ass when it comes to follow-up.
I feel like you've put some time, energy, and probably money into yourself. You haven't got to where you are just by getting kicked up the ass, having a good leader back at work. You've got to do personal development as well.
Oh, look, that's a really great question. And okay, so yes, Look, I was really fortunate that over the years, I sat within a handful at any given time, at any part of the country or the state that I was working in. I was always, I don't know if fortunate's the right answer, the right word, because I was the one putting in the effort, I guess. But I was always within a circle of people that was going into leadership, future leaders roles, and what they consisted of was tertiary, postgraduate type courses.
Yeah.
Whether they were certificate level, whether they were tertiary level, whether they were a master's level. They were things very specific and very global. So the content that I would learn during a leadership course, whether that be a 1-day or a 6-week course, is the content that they would train in the Macquarie University of Business.
But it's not, again, it's like so many other industries do that for their employees.
Yeah.
And like when it comes to builders and tradies, it's like I don't know, our industry frustrates me so much. Like I've always gone to industry events and upskilled, and if codes change and all these types of things, and like even back in the day when I finished my time, mate, I finished my time, went and worked my old boy painting for a couple of years, got an opportunity to start subbing for a big developer here in Brisbane, and just ran with it. But even when I jumped in, started running my own business, like I was still $25 an hour. Everyone around me was on 40, 45. And I did that for 3 or 4 years. And like I just felt that I had to earn my stripes. Like I had to prove who I was, what I could do before I could ask for more money.
Yeah.
And I think a big problem with our industry, especially at the moment with how busy it is, and we've had a couple of them, like you literally got guys in their early 20s, 22, 23, 24, finishing their time, putting their hand up to go straight on to the 45, 50 plus dollars an hour.
Yep.
And they've got no experience.
Yeah.
They think because they've finished their time, they've got a ticket that they can run. And I think what's exaggerated is because the industry is so busy, builders out there just need any help they can get, and they're just paying whatever they can get just to get hands on site. And it's going to create a lot of trouble for our industry in the future because these guys don't have the experience and the knowledge to be building things to code and all those types of things. So I think the fact that the industry you come from puts that time, money and energy into developing staff, training staff, giving them a pathway to I guess be successful, and leaving, like, it's up to you, isn't it? Like you can take it upon your own shoulders how far you want to go.
Look, absolutely. The investment is only as good as what you're going to do with it.
Yeah.
And this is the important part. But I 100% agree with you. Look, it's part of the. It's almost like an economic cycle. This scenario will cycle back out.
Yeah.
It might take another 5 years, 7 years.
And don't get me wrong. I'm a big believer in everyone deserves to earn more and do better.
Yeah.
I do believe you've got to earn it. You can't just be on this one day and then be on this the next.
Well, you're on the big bucks by default. It's a little bit like the mines. You know, when people go out to the mines, I mean, I've had people work for me over the years, and we're talking about people on, $35,000 a year, $40,000 a year, all of a sudden being offered to go and wash dishes in the mines for $85,000. And it's just it's demand and it's supply.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden, when work dries up, those folks they get cycled out and they get spat back out, and it's a really tough adjustment.
Yeah.
And the industry, unfortunately, the building industry, and I watch it as a non-builder, but from a business perspective, I take my hat off to you guys. The stress, the pressure, the deadlines, the cost variations, the instability that, and I don't know how the heck you guys keep up with it. And I'll tell you, that's not from an insider. That's just from what I'm observing on the outside. Yeah. Sure, I've probably got a good understanding of a commercial point of view, so I get it. But I could only imagine in the industry, if you're starting off in the first few years and you're still finding your way, holy shit, you wouldn't know if you're coming or going.
No, you don't, mate.
You'd
And
be getting,
it's look, I actually think the way our industry is going, there's going to have to be some really tough regulation changes. I think there needs to be a lot more time from when you finish an apprenticeship to you can become a builder. I think there needs to be a lot more experience there. But it absolutely fascinates me that you had the balls after 27 years, like coming from a retail background that was giving you all that support, all that opportunity to follow a passion.
yeah.
And I think it applies to anyone out there. Like so many people I feel go through their life just putting up with shit.
Yeah, you do it because you have to do it. And, you know, I'll tell you something too. There's a really cool thing, and again, it's probably a little bit of a feedback loop because a theme that has come up a few times in your show is about how, as men, or how we deal with pressure, stress, depression, how we bottle things up, how we take things on, and we just do things. And I was no different.
Yeah.
You know, I worked because I was compelled to work. I had kids, I had commitments. So everything that I had going on is like it stayed with me. And I fell out of love with what I was doing probably 5 years before I stopped doing it.
Yeah.
And I never dared not do it because I felt trapped that I had to do it. Yeah. I had to earn that amount of money. You know, there's a story I tell people, and it's one of those regrets. And I don't have a lot of regrets, but I'll tell you, this is on a professional scale, this is a regret. So I was, you know, working, secure job, everything was there, and there was a company that I went and applied to get a job for. Now, I'm not going to name names, but I will tell you that they're another big company. And unbeknownst to me, the role that I was applying for was, it was a role that I was interested in, but I didn't realise that their pay grading was so different to where I'd come from.
Yeah.
So during the interview, and I mean, this was something I really wanted to get this job.
Yeah.
Like, it was really exciting to me. And we got to the pointy end of the interview, and the guy dropped the salary on the table. He said that this is what the job will pay. And he sort of looked at me tediously. He said, "Oh, yeah, based on your experience, you know, I'm not really sure." And he named the number, and the number was $50K less than what I was on.
Yeah.
And I said, "Mate, I just stop the interview. We can't proceed." I said, "It's not. I've underestimated." I said, "Look, my mistake. Thanks for your time." And he said, "Oh, well, hang on." And between the interviewer, who was the state manager of that company, and the guy that was interviewing, they sort of had a quiet look at something on a page, and then and there offered me an extra $20K on the spot above the advertised position. Now, in hindsight, I'm thinking, shit, who does that?
Yeah.
And I turned it away because it was still a $30K drop. Now, stupid, right? I mean, this is the internal dialogue since that happened to me.
I want to hear where this goes because I think it's important.
Well, where it goes is I'm thinking, so I'm this guy carrying the weight of the world. I'm a father of 3 young children, wife, 3 young kids, and I am carrying the weight of the world on my shoulders financially. I'm geared up. So our household budget and everything's geared up on that sort of money. I couldn't see the forest for the trees, mate. I was like, there's no way I can take a pay cut.
Yeah.
Now, it's one of those what ifs, and I'll never know, but I regret so much that I didn't take the opportunity wholly and solely based upon $30K annually. Now, COVID came along a few years later, and it turned us all inside out. There were people losing their jobs left, right and centre, and I look at what I did when I came out of my work and effectively had no income. Mm. I found that $30K just in shaving half the bullshit that we were spending money on each month.
Yeah.
And then some.
Yeah.
But the mindset or the mind shift for me wasn't there. I was so narrow-minded, and I'll tell you what, it's a slippery slope, because by the time I got out of my corporate gig, mate, I was in a dark place. So anything and everything you could think of, I was in that space.
Yeah.
Yep. So without saying the words, it's as bad as I. Now, what kept me sane was I was at home and I was cooking my ass off, because I love cooking.
Yeah.
I love it. I'm a foodie, right? Because it's in the family, it's in the culture, and I'm just that creative type. But so that's where Food Studio was born as a brand. As a retailer, I've said I'm going to throw in a page of gifting. As a gift maker, I decided you can't just do gifts. They've got to be the best fucking thing you've ever seen.
Yeah.
Or don't do it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the impression that you got, whilst it looked as though it was premeditated, it was purposeful. I needed you to feel that when you open the box. I needed you to not look at my brand, my logo. It means jack shit to you. I needed you to see in all its glory, on this beautiful grain timber that had been handmade, your brand.
Mate, and you did it. You knocked us for 6.
So the value, and I'll tell you a funny story, right? Full transparency, I'm not a gift maker, I'm not a woodworker. I've become a pretty good craftsman over the last couple of years, and I'm proud to say that. But I've studied thousands of hours to do it.
Yeah.
Now, study goes in self-study.
Yeah.
I've invested. I'm talking about laying in bed at night watching YouTube videos on how to get the twist out of a board and how to create fucking router sleds and how to do all sorts of shit, right? On equipment that I've never used before. But I'm learning
It's fantastic, mate. When we caught up the other day and you were showing me your shop and you like just the buzz, you're so proud of it, and the gear that you've got in there, and the quality of the stuff that you're producing now is unbelievable. But mate, let's just go back a little bit. So, was the regret that do you feel the job, you might have taken a bit of a pay cut, but the job possibly could have been better and you could have gone to a higher level?
Yeah, man. Look, the regret was, and the answer is, I was already out of love with what I was doing, and I was really passionate about wanting to do that other job.
Yeah.
I knew I had the skills, and I made the wrong decision based upon not wanting to take a significant pay cut.
Yeah. I think this is a really good example for young people in our industry, mate. I feel like I held back. So many times I got so down the dumps, I wanted to go and ask for more money, and I was doing the same work, more hours, better quality than the guys around me that were getting 40 and 50. But I look back and think I am so glad that I stuck it out, because I stuck it out. I learnt a lot. I got so much more experience in another couple of years, and then I just took off. I went on my own, started my own company, 26 years old, 30, 40 plus guys working for me.
Yeah.
And hit the ground running. And I feel so many younger people are so focused on trying to be something they're not, trying to get all the shit they see other people apparently having on Instagram and chasing the dollars. And fine, go and get your 40, 50 bucks an hour, but you don't have the experience and you're going to be stuck on that 40, 50 bucks the rest of your life. Hang back a bit, get more experience, get educated, get more knowledge, and work your way up, and then just run with it. And your pay will keep increasing for your entire career.
It's look, you're 1,000% right. If you strip that back another layer again, if you are not doing what you want to be doing or you're passionate about,
the money's not going to fix it.
The money's not going to fix it.
Yeah.
And I proved that. I was on a good enough income to raise 3 kids with my wife staying at home and not working.
Yeah.
And I'm not talking back in the 70s. I'm talking about 4 or 5 years ago she went back to work.
Yeah.
So this is in today's economy. And I've told mates the sort of money that I was on, and they've gone, "You're mad. Just go back, mate. Fucking dust yourself off. You'll be right. Pull your head in, mate. That's a lot of money."
Yeah.
The money, it just meant nothing. I wasn't passionate about it.
Yeah.
But it got to a point where I burnt out, and eventually, as blokes or as people, not as blokes, as humans, if you do something for long enough that you don't want to do, you'll stop doing it.
Yeah.
You will find a reason to not do it. And, I guess for me, I'll go back to a comment that I made before. 80% of what we do is people. And, in some respects, as a business operator, as a boss, as a manager, you're leading people. It's not just process. You're managing people. You're counselling. You're helping. The role of a good leader is to get the best out of the people around them.
Yeah.
And doing that to each individual or for each individual is the magic. That's understanding what that individual's needs are. But sometimes that individual needs an adjustment, an attitude adjustment. and I'll tell you what, the sign of a good leader is somebody who's going to face into that.
Yeah.
And is going to say, hey.
Yeah, pull your head in.
Pull your head in, or I don't think this is the right job for you.
Yeah. Like just be open and honest with them.
Be open and honest. But I think the honesty needs to go back to, and if we use young folks or the younger generation coming through, because, I'll tell you what, man, if I'm earning $45 an hour, I'm going to go and get that Hilux. I'm going to get the red tools instead of the blue tools, right? I'm going to do all those things, and I'm going to be on TikTok, and I'm going to be showing the world, right? But if you don't love doing it, or you're not good at it, or you're not driving yourself to be the best at it, there's a very good chance you're in the wrong place. And I'll also say this. It doesn't matter
so
if
it's short-term happiness.
Yeah, 100% short-term satisfaction. Here's the thing. You don't have to be 22 years old and know what you're going to do for the rest of your life.
Yeah.
What you do want to do is whatever you do, bloody well do it the best, do it better than the other 1,000 people.
Yeah. Oh, mate, I yeah, you're singing my song, mate. I tell every young guy we put through now, it is so hard to find young people that want to work hard. And I tell them, if you, like you said before, what are you going to do? What's different? I tell them, if you just work hard every single day, put in the 110%, I don't even look for, I made the mistake. I used to always look for someone that sort of, I used to ask people, what do you want to be? You want to be a chippy? Is that your passion? And someone that had a few skills in that. I don't look for that anymore. I look for someone that's motivated, that's keen. I can teach them the skills.
Yes.
But I can't change or teach attitude.
Can't teach attitude. Well, I'll tell you what, let's go one step deeper. And again, we draw the parallels between an industry in retail and an industry in construction. Probably the part that I don't share these days is that I was, for many years in a performance-based industry, I was a hard bastard, really tough. Yeah. I'd get results, and I don't mean I managed with a sledgehammer, but I was unforgiving. Standards were standards. Yeah. If you didn't show up, I'd probably be clear that you haven't shown up. Yeah. We'd get a hot shot on site. Or in the store, a new person to the team.
Yeah.
And, they'd be pretty good. And I always used to say to the managers that I was managing, wait and tell me in 3 months or 6 months' time.
Yeah.
Because anybody can be a hero for 5 minutes.
Yeah.
Right? And funnily enough, it was only 10% of the people that were still superstars in 3 months' time.
Yeah.
Because they'd fizzle out. All of the sparkles and the dust would fall off, and they'd be back to this person who's, once they finished putting on a show, that's not who they were.
Yeah.
It's like fronting up to an interview. Interviews, right? Interviews don't represent who the person is. You can turn it up.
It's like a resume, isn't it?
It's like a resume. It's exactly like
anyone can write any shit they want on a piece of paper.
So a hot shot getting on site and impressing everyone in the first week or 10 days or month, that's not the test. The superhero is the guy that's still doing that in 6 months' time.
Yeah.
And aspiring to be, boss, what else can I do?
Yeah. Oh, mate, that's all it is, isn't it? Someone actually, One of our guests we had on the other week, they said, like, it's not really hard. Like, all your boss wants you to do is your best. And if you do your best, you'll keep succeeding and growing in the business.
Yeah.
So just turn up to impress every day. And the more you do that, the more you get rewarded.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's interesting too that, look, Duayne, I could talk for hours about it, man. It's something that I'm still passionate about, irrespective of whether I'm running a small business or, the years of managing large teams. The principles remain the same. People are people.
Yeah.
But look, for me now, and I look at.
So how have you gone from that to now? It's now you and your wife. Your business has gone well enough that your wife's been able to come on board.
Yeah. So Trina came on board last year. So she's been on board for just on a year now, and we've got a young guy in the wood shop with us. And look, probably a little early for me to call, but I've got some pretty exciting stuff happening in the woodworking space, just to sort of string together what we've already spoken about. The claim to fame for us with the Gift brand is that our wood shops, so the stuff that we produce locally, from reclaimed timbers and recycled or repurposed, they become part of the gift packs that we do and we customize. So, I've got a handover gift, for example, we've got one that we've got on Monday, Monday coming. We've got another one next Friday for a couple of different builders. And, I want to, it's not about being better or worse. It's about it's providing a service that adds value to our clients.
Yeah.
So you guys, and like many people, you're busy, you're flat out. So I want to give you an example of the value that we're able to give.
Yeah, talk to us about what's in you, because we've got multiple handfuls off you now. We've had all different ones, and you've taught me that it is the handover gift is an incredible opportunity to give your clients something that is in their face every day and they're going to remember you, but also something that they can use when they're having dinner parties, whatever. Their guests are going to see this and go, oh, who's this? Oh, he built my house.
Yeah.
Because we've had ones that are just like nibblies. We've had like the knives, mate. I love the knives.
Knives are pretty sexy, but look, there's a couple of statements that I'll make about gifts. Anybody can do nice food, nice wine, and nice objects. Yep, we take a lot of pride in getting it right. So a couple of standouts is the timber stuff or the handmade stuff or the attention to detail. But the biggest thing is if I can make your life easier and make you look good at the same time, well, mate, I've done my job.
Yeah.
You've
done more than made us look good. We've had clients in tears, like being like just thrilled with it. So.
Look, imagine this, and this is true story. I got a text message yesterday or the day before. A text message, not an email, not a form, no shopping carts. A text message from a builder. Hey mate, I need and it was specific. It's nothing that I've got on the website.
Yeah.
It's nothing on anyone's website. But he's got an idea and he wants to hand over because that client loves martinis.
Yeah.
And he said, mate, can I get everything to make a martini, everything to make, X, Y, Z? Can I get a cheese board branded? Can I get some cheese knives? Can we get some cheeses? Yeah, man. Oh, pick up Friday or Monday. I said, yeah. Done.
Yeah.
Text message, he's put it back in his pocket and he's gone back on the tools or, managing the project that he's managing.
Yeah.
Now, that to me, if that's not adding value to that guy's day, all he's got to do is come and collect or we deliver, whatever the request is. We've got...
and that's the thing that I like, because every time we do a handover now, Camille text you if you want something special, you add it in. If we give you the dress, we give you whatever you deliver it, or you give it here and we take it. So you're very customized, aren't you?
Yeah, customized. Customized would probably be the watered down version. I promise you this, man. Like, I've had managing directors of companies text me at 5:30 on a Friday afternoon and said, "Hey, I need text."
Yeah. You don't want people texting you, mate. I'm going to teach you that.
I know.
You got to set business hours, mate. You got to set business hours.
That's okay. There'll be time for that.
Everyone on this podcast is going to be texting at 5:30 on a Friday afternoon, mate.
Yeah, that's okay. It doesn't mean I've got to answer it. But what I'm getting at is that particular moment in that day was the first time he had to actually do something.
Yeah.
And it was convenient for him. It was a 2-minute interaction, but the cool thing about it is we get asked, and it's not all text message, but to give you that example of, for me, I can't say, mate, here's a website, fill in your details, jump through all of these hoops and then we can help you.
Yeah.
That's not helping you.
Oh, mate, you're very big on relationships.
It's giving you a pain in the ass.
Yeah.
I want to know, how can I make your life easy? And often enough, only after a very short, usually once or twice at most, I now get emails or calls, and it'll be simply, can I get a hamper, a gift pack, a cutting board, or whatever it is, and a budget.
Yeah.
They don't even ask for, they just trust that that's what we do.
Yeah.
And, I could bang on about it forever, but the bottom line is, I'm on a mission. So I'm like you. I'm on a mission to do two things. One is to create a brand of Australian-made timber products.
Yeah.
Australian-made. So I've got to call it, because it's the most exciting thing happening in my business at the moment. But we've
don't give away too much, mate. I know what you're doing. Like, if it's not too early, you don't have to tell us.
No. Look, I just want to talk about the brisket boards, and it's not necessarily relevant to the gifting, although we've had a few of them go as gifts. No, the exciting part is that I set out on with a vision to create an Australian-made timber cutting board range, and I've got my brisket boards on show in barbecue stores now.
Yeah.
Not only are we sending them, all over Australia and to the US and the UK, we've got them stocked in barbecue shops.
So it's all go, mate. Because when I met you only a few weeks ago, you were pumped. This was all so it's all happening.
It's all starting to get over the line.
And I think it's amazing, because you said to me, like, "What's this?" I'm like, I don't know, a big cutting board.
Big cutting board. Yeah, no, mate, it's a brisket board.
But once you showed me, and like the detail in it's incredible. And I'm like, well,
yeah.
All right, everyone's doing bloody
barbecue smoking.
Yeah, smoking meat.
So that's the thing, right? So the vision was, and the other part of the vision, aside from doing the Aussie-made timber stuff, is to be the brand or the person or the people of choice when we need a gift that's special. If you need a quick hamper, I mean, sure, we can do that, but being able to curate something that's so specific to you, like being able to, we had a handover not that long ago, and spotted gum was used on the floors.
Yeah.
So the client got a butcher's block or a nice big block made out of spotted gum.
Yeah.
It's consistent. It's, laser engraved with the detail.
The value add. Let's talk about the value you're adding, because so to give listeners a bit of an idea, I can't even tell how many you've done for us now, but every single one of them blows me away. But like, one of them, we renovated an old Queenslander, and I gave you some of the timber out of the house, and you turned the old timber that we recycled out of the house into a gift. Yeah. Which at the end of the job we handed over, plus some other stuff. Yeah. So, like, you'll deliver these things anywhere. So any builder in Australia can, well, I don't know, New Zealand, anywhere.
We haven't done NZ yet, but look,
if you want one, try.
Well, we've got international accounts, right? So we're sending brisket boards to California and Manchester and wherever. So
so any builder in Australia can jump on. And I want to talk, because this podcast is for the building industry. Yeah. It is, like, often you get to the end of the job and you might have had a few hiccups along the way, or I don't know, whatever. It might not have all been smooth sailing, but or you might have had an incredible relationship, whatever the case. But like at the handover, this is your opportunity to seal the deal, knock the clients off their feet, give them something. And like I said, you've taken it next level, which you've educated me on. It's your opportunity to give them something that they can have out on display, that every person that comes to their house will see who built the house.
Yeah. Look, there's brand value. It's got to be functional. Yeah, there's nothing shittier than getting something that you'll either eat and throw away, or
like I said, leave up the back of the cupboard. And
leave at the back of the cupboard. But from a, and I shouldn't criticise, and it's not about that. It's about being the best you can be. But you know what, man? I'm not going to lie to you. There are some stuff that I look in, that I see, and I think, a $9 Kmart board that's been mass produced, that's come out of a factory from the other side of the world. It's just not something that I would be proud of.
Yeah.
First of all, handing over, but second of all, if I had a house built and I received that, it wouldn't get much airtime in my place.
Yeah.
If the standard of what, so we'll use that piece of Jarrah that you spoke about, because that was Jarrah, right? Had nails in it too.
It did.
Yeah.
And you probably fucked some of your blades, I'd imagine.
Yeah, that's all right.
I remember when I gave it to you, like, oh,
yeah, that's all right. You got to learn somehow, right? But that was something that not only would create an impression, but think of it like this, that owner could actually hand down to their kids.
Yeah, well, I was able to hand that home over, and like that lady was over the moon. Like she was hugging me and had tears in her eyes, and say, look, this, besides all those other gifts, that board there is actually part of the timber that was out of the original home.
Yeah. It
was an amazing piece of woodwork.
Look, it's there is nothing for me, and I know that it's not the same, but that feeling of pride that a builder has when you finally, it's pride in its relief when you get to handover day.
Yeah.
But you're proud of your work.
Yeah.
And that's the thing that I relate to when I deal with, when I work with a lot of the builders that I do. The level of pride, the level of passion is, to me, I draw energy from that.
Yeah.
And because that's how I am, you know that well enough about me.
Yeah.
I'm passionate and I'm energetic. But I love seeing it. There's a guy or a girl there that believes so strongly in their work, is so proud of their team, so proud of the work that they're handing over. I can only, I want to be able to compliment that, not be the downer.
Yeah.
Having conversations with builders who say to me, oh, mate, this is a great idea, because at the last minute we're running around like headless chooks trying to get a bunch of flowers and a bottle of wine.
Look, if I can, to put it out there to builders and even traders, I think it's something that, I don't know, look, I'm a bit funny about this. So even back in the day when I worked for somebody, every Christmas I would give my employer a gift.
Yeah.
Because I fucking appreciated having a job.
Yeah.
Whereas most of the time these days it's the other way around. But I think everybody, like, giving a gift at the end of something is a very useful thing to do. And I think don't leave it till the last minute.
Yeah.
Like, people should be ringing you up and building a relationship, and like you said, you just take care of the whole thing. Like, they tell you maybe a date 2 or 3 months out that they need something done, and you just smash these things out. And like you said, they don't have to do anything about it, but it sets that last impression with the client, and they're either going to build with you again, they're going to tell their friends, or whatever the case may be. But it's an incredible opportunity that I think gets overlooked so much of the time.
Well, it's the barbecue conversations we have that sometimes carry the most weight. Think about it. Think about the things that, you might be around the campfire or around the barbecue talking to your mates having a beer, and you will share a really positive experience.
Yeah.
Now here's a funny thing to get your head around. As humans, we remember the very best and we remember the very worst. We don't remember anything in between. Mediocre is not a memory. Yeah. So you could tell me a meal you had 10 years ago.
Yeah.
because it was either that good or it was that shit.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you, you'll be
you're right.
able to, you won't be able to tell me the price, but if it was shit, you'll be able to tell me the price, how long you waited for, and even down to the because people remember the shit.
Yeah.
So the message in that is obviously don't be shit, but don't be mediocre. Nobody remembers mediocre.
Yeah.
So don't be one of those 1,000 people
Doing half-ass shit.
right doing half-ass shit.
Yeah.
If you put in mediocre, you're going to get mediocre. I need, I need the client. I need you. We want to be standing around the barbecue going, holy shit, you should see this thing that I got, or this meal that we had, or the steak, or the brisket board, or,
So how's the cooking going? So, because I imagine the gifts have taken over the food.
Well, the food studio part of it is the timber. It's not the food as much as it is the products that we relate to food. I mean, I'm still cooking nowhere near as much because I'm doing some pretty big hours these days. But look, the food's going good, man. Like I've Instagram at the moment on Food Studio is dominated by brisket boards and barbecue and smoking because it's like a cult, and it is the if you haven't had a look in, it is the coolest community.
Yeah.
There is
Oh mate, it's all hipsters bloody cooking their meat,
mate,
and bloody
mate.
it's taken over. Like we got an awesome one around the corner in there. Like it's a
I'm
brewery,
going there for dinner
a
than
brewery and a
a
smoke joint.
smoke
Like,
smoke joint. Yeah.
So mate, tell us a little bit about like how's it all gone? Like because you've had that successful career, you had the balls, you jumped it, you left.
Yeah.
You've started your own business, and tell us. I'm sure you've had some ups and downs.
Oh, Duayne, mate, I used to my head would hit the pillow, and I'd be out like a light, and I'd be up in the morning. Now, I don't think I've slept as little as I have in the last 12 months. You know? So it's really stressful. I was just telling somebody yesterday. I spent my life from age 18 till about 43 on a salary. So I knew when my pay was going to drop in, how much it was going to be, and I could manage everything around that.
Yeah.
I have compared myself to a tradesman in the last 2 years.
Yeah.
And it's peaks and troughs because our business has been in the building phase. So we'll get a flush of money and then we'll get a dry patch, and we'll get a flush of money and we'll get a dry patch.
Yeah.
And so it's been that in itself has been a learning for me and for Trina and I, for the family. But look, 2 years in, we're still here. We still have a good, healthy demand for what we're doing. We're still I'm still as passionate and as driven as I was 2 years ago.
Yeah.
We're now, I suppose, like any business, you go through phases. You've got your startup, and then you've got your scale-up phase.
Yeah.
And we are now sort of entering another phase where we're starting to engage more people.
Sorry, guys, it's starting to rain outside, so just might have to put up with a bit of rain noise.
We're starting to employ more people, and we're starting to build bigger relationships. You talk about opportunities and recognition. We were approached a few months ago to create a gift for our mayor to give to the mayor of our sister city in Japan.
Yeah.
So that was a little bit of a pinch me sort of moment. I thought, holy moly.
Yeah.
So,
oh mate, it shows. Like you're passionate, you're driven, and your product speaks for itself.
Look, the brief was it had to be something special. There had to be something spectacular, and that was about it. There wasn't what it needed to be. So I was fortunate to have a couple of beautiful pieces of old Queensland red cedar that resembled two people reaching up to the sky. And if you look on the Insta page, there's some photos of it and a little bit of video of the process. But those sort of activities So two ways of looking at it. An opportunity is only as good as what you do with that opportunity. And for me, it was never going to be about the money or the pay or any such thing. I was absolutely blown away that somebody would trust me enough with something so important.
Yeah.
So it's no different to when somebody signs a contract to build a home. That's the most important thing in my life.
Yeah.
I'm going to live in that home, bring up my kids, and do everything for me in that home. The trust is... So what I do with that opportunity is nothing short of delivering the very best I could do. I'm not going to tell you how many hours it took me and whatever, because remember, I threw the wristwatch out.
Yeah.
For me, I had a goal, and I needed to achieve the goal, and I delivered.
Yeah, it's
I'm
awesome.
really proud to say that I delivered, but it's sort of now given us, I guess, a little bit of recognition locally. I mean, we're a Brendale-based business here on the north side of Brisbane, and now all of a sudden we're sort of, I guess, we're starting to get some recognition beyond just doing some gift hampers. And for the record, whilst we do handover gifts and a lot of the customised special stuff, we also do bulk corporate.
Yeah.
Because reality is, if we're selling, 100 of something to one person, it's a lot easier than selling 1 to 100 people.
Yeah. And mate, like some of the clients you managed to pull off on that level too, just in 2 years have been unbelievable.
Yeah. Look, we look after one of the Toyota groups. We look after Coca-Cola. We've done some special projects for Winning Appliances. There's a national medical group that we look after. We do some pretty cool stuff.
Yeah. Yeah, no, mate, look, I take my hat off to you. So where's GIFTu going, mate? Like, what's the future hold?
Well, mate, great question. So I've got some strategy in place for the next probably 12 months to 24 months. I'm not gonna beat around the bush. I'm really passionate about reaching out to as many builders and seeing how we can help them.
Yeah.
I think it's an important role for us to be able to do what we can to help, and we would love nothing more than to help grow them and us. I've got a couple of really cool initiatives, which I'm not going to give you the details of, but some pretty special stuff in the gifting space that no one's ever done before.
Yeah.
I built the website last year. Speaking of, so innovation is a big deal for me. We've got the very first built-in video messaging function on our website.
Yeah.
So if you want to send a gift to, Nana over in Adelaide, and you want to pop a video in the card, when Nana scans the QR code, out pops your video.
Yeah.
And, we had to build the code, and we had to build that from scratch, but we did it because we thought it would be a good idea to lift the personalisation. So next year we've got some cool stuff. We're going to reach some areas in gifting that haven't been done before.
Yeah, that's awesome, mate.
So watch this space.
So, mate, we'll get towards the point end now and get this thing wrapped up. But look, what's someone that is as busy as you do to chill out? Is it still the cooking, or what's your
cooking?
breakout?
Cooking is so. Whilst I don't cook as often because I'm pretty snowed under with the workload. So I do two things that keep me sane. Every Wednesday night we catch up with a really dear friend of ours, and we have a wine and food night.
Yeah.
So it's a bit of a ritual, and we look forward to it. And I look, irrespective of how tired and how snowed under I am, it's a bit of a release.
Yeah.
I get in the kitchen and I'm in the zone.
Yeah.
And the other thing is I exercise is my release valve.
Yeah.
So
it's important, isn't it? You got to have some time for yourself.
Yeah, exercise is my reset. So if I get really bogged down, and I try to exercise every day, but these days it's not so easy. But if I get to a point I need a reset, it's I'll hit, I'll do a gym workout and I'll go for a run, or I'll do something that just gets me away from it.
Yeah.
and it sort of fixes me for a bit.
Yeah, mate, you can't beat physical exercise and just getting a bit of time out for yourself. But,
Yeah.
Mate, look, thanks very much for coming on. I think you're absolutely smashing it out. I think you've delivered a lot of value today. So, mate, just to wrap it up, for the guys and girls that are listening, like, how do they find you? Where are you? What do they need to do? And,
Cool. Well, look, socials, so GIFTu, Premium Gifting, Food Studio Shop, and we've got websites, so giftu.com.au. All our phone numbers and emails are on there.
Don't text message. Don't do it business hours only.
I was always taught to be respectful to my host. So if you want to text, I'd love to hear from you.
Well, don't blame me, mate, when you're up at 10 o'clock at night. But no, look, really appreciate it. Check the guys out, Instagram, Facebook, go to the website. And look, if you're a builder or a tradie out there that needs handover gifts, I guarantee you will not find better. So, mate, thanks so much for coming on board and really appreciate you telling your story.
Thanks, Duayne. Appreciate the opportunity.
Cheers, mate. All right, so for anyone that wants to know what we're talking about on that podcast, check out these incredible hampers. So Mitch has given us a couple of examples here today. And Mitch, you're going to do a pretty special deal for anyone that's listening.
Yeah, look, Duayne, to show our commitment to you and the building industry, we've set up a code on the website. So it's DPierce10 during checkout, but also even if you just want to get in touch and talk to us about a custom deal, anyone who quotes DPierce10, we'll look after with an immediate 10% off. And obviously, we'll do our very best to deliver exactly what they need. And
so that applies for any custom orders as well?
Any custom orders and anything that they want to order through us, DPierce10, and we'll look after them.
Yeah, awesome, Mitch. Really appreciate it. So that's DPierce, P-E-A-R-C-E, the number 10. If you want to hamper like no others out there and you want to impress your clients, go and check the guys out. Everything discussed during the Level Up podcast with me, Duayne Pearce, is based solely on my own personal experiences and those experiences of my guests. The information, opinions, and recommendations presented in this podcast are for general information only, and any reliance on the information provided in this podcast is done at your own risk. We recommend that you obtain your own professional advice in respect to the topics discussed during this podcast.